Hello, dear friends. Yes, yes, I will. You might think it is a little stupid that I use this microphone, and it is, but it is recorded, the session. So also, if you have questions later, you should also use the microphone to ask me. But I should tell you that we are not allowed to put on all microphones at the same time, because then the system might not work. Just to tell you. I already told you that water is over there, so feel free to drink. And
by questioning, no, it's only a joke. It's a kind of big order. the questioning around.
We will do it like this. So for me, I have to be very honest in the beginning. For me, this is very much outside-the-box action I right now do. I managed during the last 8 years not to have any presentation during general assemblies. And now this year it came to my head that I have to do it. And I have to tell you that this is the first time I use a PowerPoint presentation, and who of you knows Sonia knows that this is also Sonia's computer. So she helped me a lot to be outside the box now. So if the technical aspect is not running perfectly smooth, it's my fault, but I try to be good. Okay, so sing outside the box one more time. Those who were at the General Assembly in the morning, so most of you actually already heard something about the festival and saw also the latest video presented by Raoul and Kaye. And I don't want to repeat all the information here. If you want to know more about the festival, you can, of course, talk to Raoul, Kaye, and me. Or, as you see here, we have the brochures here with the program of the long ateliers, and some more information about the conductors and composers program will be on the webpage soon, probably in February, March, so that you can have a look there. But already now I want to say some words about this. Yes, there are a million ways to sing, as the slogan of the festival says, and some are traditional and have been existing for many years, some are more recent, but still within the usual box of choral singing, and some are outside the box. And we try to include a lot of traditional inside in the box singings in the festival, but of course we added also a series of outside the box. Maybe just, I mean, also that was in Combs' presentation, but maybe about the wording again, what is the outside the box? The title was inspired by an English phrase, which is often used in communication and creative thinking, think outside the box, and other languages use other images. So in German, you say über den Tellerrand blicken, which means look beyond the rim of your own plate. Or raus aus dem Schubladendenken, which means stop putting everything into the same separate drawers, you know. And in French, my French is weak, but Sonia wrote down that it's called sortir des sentiers battus. No? Is someone French? Was it right? No? So you could say be creative, try out something new. So with Sing Outside the Box, we wanted choral music to get more outside its usual context and its comfort zone, and the usual, this is how we have always done it and how it should also be in the future. This does not mean, as I said, that we are not longer allowed to sing traditional and classic music in a church service or in a concert, but we think that if we want to attract new audiences and also new singers, of course, and if you want choral music to become a bit more sexy, then you should more often try to get out of boxes and think about new models and new ways. So the next picture I show you is a picture from, I think it was in Pitch, where Lorenzo did an atelier where we combined food and drinks together with music. Let's start with the atelier program. So the leaflet you have in front of you with a huge choice of ateliers of 4 to 8 days, which end with a final performance, as you know it from the last festivals. So maybe before we go a little bit into detail, I have to tell you that when we made this list to present here, and also, as you see in the brochure, to put there the official logo of Sing Outside the Box, we had much more possibilities. So I think many of the ateliers which are not mentioned here are also outside the box and could have easily been adopted to this program too. But we took some examples, and I just want to report a little bit about this. So what makes an atelier outside the box? It may be that it is cross-disciplinary and mixing singing with another art forms, or combining different styles also, or there is something else which is not so usual, and that is what we took then to be outside the box. So in the case we took it in the brochure, the label on it, the first is A1, Children's Songs Around the World. And Josep Vila Jover from Catalonia will do this, and this is labeled with outside the box because it is with choreography. And maybe it is not so much outside the box for many of us or for children choirs in general, but still it is cross-disciplinary, so we listed it here. And we thought it's important also to have a children's choir atelier under this label. A4 from La Gagliarda, Renaissance Dance to Rock and Roll, will be conducted by Petra Grassi. She's from Italy, but with Slovenian roots. And here we combine two different music styles. So La Gagliarda is old dancing and rock and roll is modern dancing. And the special thing is that she was asked to put together a program with dances from all around the world and also from all periods. And we will have dancers performing also in the atelier. So not the choir will dance, but we add dancers to the final concerts. And because we think that could be a very nice thing. I myself did many years ago a Missa Tango by Palmieri. I think it was also performed in the Utrecht EUROPA CANTAT Festival, and I did it with my students many years ago, and we did it in the church service, and they organized two tango dancers dancing while we were singing that, and everyone appreciated this a lot. So we will try it here with different styles. A10, circle singing with Roger Trees. Maybe to those of you who have never heard about Roger Trees, you have surely heard about Bobby McFerrin, and Roger Trees is the mastermind behind the music of Bobby McFerrin. And we are very proud that in our music commission this time we have maybe the expert for rhythmical choral music, for pop jazz choral music, which is Jim Dawes from Aarhus, from Denmark, who helped us a lot to develop our program much more open to all kind of repertoire and to make much more stronger our impact also on the professionalization of pop jazz music. We always had this in our festival. But this is the first time that we have it with so many high-level conducting experts, and thanks to Jim Dawes, we were getting this direct connection to Roger Trees, who will come over then from Los Angeles, and we'll do this kind of circle songs, which I think have become more and more popular in the last years also in Europe. But with this high professional teacher, I think it will be very interesting atelier. Then it's again about food and drinks, A15, à la carte, and with Christine Morel from France. And we are combining singing and food, and yeah, a bit like you saw in the previous slide with Lorenzo. And I think in pitch we combined singing and wine drinking for male choirs, and I think they had a very good time. And as we experienced here, the food also in Estonia is wonderful, so it will be for sure a great atelier led by a French person, and they are specialists for food, as we know. Original Aboriginal, so it's not original Aboriginal, that is outside the grammatic. And with Lynn Williams from Australia, she's quite famous for doing those things, and she's a wonderful conductor, and will perform Aboriginal music with movements, and that is something rather new. Actually, we have not listed here, but also in the program, similar things with Gregorian chant, done by Kadri Hund from Estonia, which could, like I said, easily have been listed here too. So, and the last atelier we marked with that is the musical, the Triple Challenge. And this is quite the same question. I think many of you might say, okay, but musical is not very new. We have had this in many festivals, and that's true. We had it in many festivals, but sometimes, and that is what Combe already said in his presentation, sometimes it's that we don't have to invent the wheel totally new, but just to tell about that we already did it or that we do it. So, of course, the Triple Challenge means that you have music, acting, and dancing. And we have a little video of that because in Lyon, at the EUROPA CANTAT Junior Festival, Panda van Prostay from the Netherlands, who already we know, many of us, and she's a fantastic teacher, did such a kind of atelier with the children. And we have a little video to enjoy with her. Actually, you have to imagine 200 more children staying in this way. And, but I think I even filmed this noise, and it's hard to turn away from Panda when you have her. We still don't know why Jean-Claude Wilkins is looking so critically all the time, but it was a big success, this atelier. And we are happy she will come again. Yes. Jean-Claude, why were you looking like this? Why were you looking like this all the time? We were wondering, seeing the video, because Anne-Marie is looking to her all the time. Nice. So, and one more is missing, Renaissance Energy, with Leslie Peters, also from France. And this is outside the box, because this atelier will work together with Hortus Musicus. This is a group from Tallinn, I think even, or from, yeah, they are based in Tallinn, and they do early music, ancient music. But it is a quite unusual approach. So in our very first meeting of the Music Commission, we were in a concert done by Hortus Musicus. And I think now I addressed Jean-Claude again, because we went out of the concert and said that was rock and roll in Renaissance music. They play sometimes scales in the concert which are obviously not original Renaissance scales, even have some jazz influences in that, but there is so much fun and so much joy when they do this music that we really look forward to combine it with choirs. And so, as I said, we can also say that what is a bit out of the box in the complete atelier program is that we have this cooperation with Aarhus and Jim Dowse, and with the idea of bridging a bit more the boxes of classical choral singing and conducting and the world of vocal pop and vocal jazz, which has different labels in each country. So we will have also a panel discussion later about this topic today. Discovery ateliers outside the box. So I told you that the exact program of this atelier is also the CCP program, will be published later, beginning of next year. And you know the system of the Discovery Ateliers. It's they last one morning and they have no final performance. And the aim is to give the people the taste of a certain music, a style or singing technique, and that people may not have tried out before. And what makes the Discovery Ateliers outside the box? Partly it's the same concept and sometimes the same conductors even as the long ateliers. So you see on the top the circle songs. Also Roger Trees will be here. But partly they will allow you to explore new types of repertoire. Sometimes the proposals, you know, when we put together the festival, we get like 150 proposals of our members, and it's quite challenging to have this result in the end, because you have to skip out a lot of great proposals that you would really love to have in the program, and you have to decide. But sometimes we think that some ideas are so good that we should really include them in the program, and the discovery ateliers are a very good tool to save some styles and to save some ateliers that we had to throw out before. And so that is what is going on here. And also we tried, and that is, but Stefan is not here, to include singing technique things, to have voice teachers speaking about different things. So as I said, here are some examples. Circle songs, which are trees, we already spoke about this. Then collective choral composing with Dora Halas from Hungary. She was the music manager of the Pécs Festival, so some of you might have met her there. And she works on composing together, so it is not a sheet of scores she distributes to her singers, but she distributes a white sheet of paper with some lines, and then they fill it together, which is, of course, a quite challenging process, but brings the musicians much more into the compositions they perform in the end. Icebreakers and singing games with Tobias Hook from Germany. He's living in London now and was the beatboxer of which famous group? I think, wasn't it the real group? He was, right, at the Swingle Singers before, now he's... And
appearing at the singing roadshow in Paris.
Right. And I have to tell you that he's very sad he cannot be here. We actually invited him to this weekend, but he has a different appointment, and so he is very sad not to be with us. But, pardon? Yes, and he was in Lyon too, right. And I met him just 2 weeks ago in Germany at the Chorcom, where he managed to do a huge improvisation jam session in the night. So he's a very good guy doing this, and we are really looking forward for his workshops there about beatboxing, body percussion, etc. So we have then some different ateliers around vocal technique. For example, how to adapt your technique to different music styles. And there will be also ateliers offering traditional music from different countries like Armenia, Georgia, and having a look also on the vocal technique aspect of these countries, because they sometimes produce sounds which we are not used so much to. And actually it's a bit a pity that not too many composers use these sounds. They use many crazy things, but sometimes it's worth to look into folkloristic elements and involve this also. And in the spirit of the Sing Me In project, also we have some traditional music from Turkey and Arabic countries. And we hope to get and planning to have an atelier with an overtone singer from German. Anna-Maria Hefele is her name. She has a very famous video on YouTube, I think with more than 10 million clicks already now, where she performs three-part things with overtone singing. It's absolutely amazing. So if you have not heard about her, check this out. It's really great. So let's go on. As at our previous festivals, we will be offering a program for conductors and composers. I already mentioned this. So each morning we'll start with a plenary session in which we will showcase a composer and do some warm-ups together. And maybe I can already advertise for this because it is in the brochure, but if you have good young composers in your surroundings, please encourage them to apply for these plenary sessions in the morning. We had extremely positive feedbacks after the Pécs Festival because the program for conductors and composers, like 150, 200 people are there, and if a young composer has a showcase of 10 minutes every morning in front of so many people, it's really a great platform for them. So think about if you have people who would like to come. It is very interesting, and I think for them it's a big benefit. So we start with these plenary sessions also to explain what are the sessions coming, and then they will have 2 one-hour slots with 3 parallel choices each. So the system is like what we do here in the afternoon. Now it's 1 hour, then we have 30 minutes coffee break to exchange, and then we have 1 more hour, and this is how our program also looks like. In average, we have 2 outside-the-box events every morning, so workshops, lectures, and, for example, about concert design, so that is why we have this picture here. And we have every day an offer for children's choir conductors, and as well as an offer for composers. So, as we already tried out in pitch, we again commissioned pieces to composers. This is also marked in the brochure. You can see which ateliers do a first performance. And try, of course, to find some good name composers, some big names, and hopefully they will come here. And young composers taking part in the Conductors and Composers program can profit going to sessions of well-known composers. So, if I were a young composer and see that there is a morning session with Jaakko Mentieri from Finland explaining about composing techniques, I would for sure go there. And we have some more great names that will hopefully attract many young composers coming. In addition, then we will have some sessions on different topics interested for all kind of conductors, including repertoire sessions, including technique sessions, conducting techniques, so how does the sound of a choir change when I conduct differently. But that is maybe not too much outside the box, but it will also be part of this program. Yeah, this is again also what we started to say. It is not fixed yet, as I said, and but we can already say that there will be lectures and sessions, workshops about concert designing, including sessions about the use of sound and light technique. Maybe this is an interesting example also. When we had the big stage in Page Festival, there was one conductor who really knows a lot about sound techniques, and he knew I need 45 minutes to speak to the techniques to get the great result in the end. And this concert was the one which was amplified fantastically because he knows what he wants. He knows what to tell the technicians. If I would go there and tell a bit louder, a bit no chance. Yeah. So, but in our new world, developing with that, and also developing new concert places outside or wherever, we are really in need to know about this kind of things, and we thought it's very important to offer this to our conductors. Then how to work with other disciplines, so like for example with Panda, with movements, with working with choreographers, with regisseurs, with artists, painters maybe, and people combining singing and theater. We will have some sessions about audience development, so how can you do open singing for people who are not used to sing and cannot read music. We heard about this already before. And also how you can attract audiences to your concerts. We try now, I work in Frankfurt, and in Frankfurt there is a huge, I think it's Europe's biggest museum for natural science. They have these huge dinosaur bones standing there. And now in the beginning of November, I will have a concert there, a night concert starting at 10 and going to 2 in the morning, between all these animals and saurians, because we know that when we do it there, people who go to this museum but never heard any music, they will come to the museum because they know something is in the museum. So, and of course, out of this, we hope to show them that we do nice music, and maybe then later they come back to our concerts. But that's just an example, of course, for that. And there are many, many more ways. So how to bring together the different worlds, which are usually in different boxes. And unusual concepts can help. And I already mentioned Dora Halas from Hungary, who will be there. And she made with her own choir a project with, it's called the Taboo Collection. So the content is that they pick out taboos which are in society or even music taboos and bring them on a stage which looks like, and that is why it's called collection, it looks like in a how is this? Yeah, like a fashion show. So they have a runway for fashion, and there the choir is acting on this runway. And we have a little sip out of this whole program. It is available on YouTube, but we have the trailer of them. is a little too short. It should be 3.5 minutes. I don't know what happened. This is the advert of the whole video. You see, now it's coming to my technique out of the box. I think we got the idea. If you're interested, take a picture of this and see it. Play. Huh? It is fantastic, huh?
It is really.
No, this is not possible. It is. That is. You are joking with me. No, it is. It's. No, thank you for making fun. Okay. No, I also watched the whole video, and I can really recommend. I'm sorry that I hope the other videos will work. Another important part of our festival always is the open singing, and so we thought about how to adapt the open singing to new needs to the city of Tallinn, and also it came out later that it fits perfectly to sing outside the box. So we tried to have a new model of open singing now in the Tallinn Festival, and we will offer 2 different open singings. One of them is part of the outside the box project. There will be a daily open singing on the town hall square. So tonight's concert is in town hall. Who has not been there will discover it is the perfect place for this. And we aim this to the citizens of Tallinn and also for the tourists and any festival participants who want to join. Of course, all the choirs may go there too. And it will be an open singing made in a way that people who may not have any choral singing experience and may not to be able to read scores at all can easily sing along. And it will be without a songbook, and it will be conducted by Merja is the official name, but the people call her Mertsi Rajala from Finland. I don't know who knows her. Great. So I think we did a good choice with her. And no?
She's famous for his improvisation.
Absolutely, yeah.
She's been teaching at the Fourth Jazz Conservatoire.
Yeah.
And her arrangements and also compositions are something that people wait for.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it's the first time she appears also in EUROPA CANTAT, so we are very happy that she agreed to come. And there will be a second open singing, more inside the box and also inside in a room, and inside the building, aimed at festival participants only, with an open singing booklet like we know it, and it will be conducted by Lorenzo Donati, who most of us know too. So let's turn to the concert performances we have planned for the festival. Here you can see 2 pictures of out-of-the-box performances. The left one you will hear more about in a moment when hopefully the video works. And the right one is from the festival in Pécs. It was the atelier of Basilio Astules. And there were some extracts of this atelier in the final concert, but they did a whole concert program in the Jonai Quarter, which was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, the Ö night, the choir Ö, so 2015 in Pécs, we already had a Ö of choirs, and this time we will also fill the city center of Tallinn, because it was a huge success in Pécs, and we felt that it was the perfect step, the festival, to bring it into the city and to make it visible in the city. So, we will have performances on Monday, July 30th, ending with an unusual night concert, which is called the Blue Planet. So let's see what will happen there. We plan some technical things, but okay, let's be surprised. On October 1st, we will organize a promenade concert in an unusual venue, and I shall present later. But there will be also outside-the-box special concerts with invited groups. From Estonia, for example, we have the Hortus Musicus, which we already mentioned for the atelier with Leslie Peters, performing rock baroque, and we already mentioned them. Yeah, and we have a concert called Estonian Atmospheres, where maybe Raul, you can add a sentence about this. I think it will be Estonian music with several Estonian choirs staged also.
Yes, and this all music is written
maybe some of you know, and this was a competition between programs for Estonia 100. So he was one of having those scholarships to make this program, and so it is all his music staged also with some movements for different choirs, children choir, mixed choir, and so on. So
Great. I think we planned it in Nordea Concert Hall, or yes,
yeah.
which is a fantastic place.
With lights and everything. It
Yes.
can be staged.
Yes.
in nice way.
Thank you, Raul. And so, as we know, there will also be guest ensembles and participating choirs, which performing in unusual ways. So, as I said already, Anna-Maria Hefle will hopefully come, and maybe she will even bring a whole choir, and they perform a concert together. It's a choir from Germany called I Vocalisti from the north, from Lübeck, and they commissioned some music for mixed choir and overtone singer, which is a very exciting program. Then we will have a scenic version of the Brahms Requiem. That is the session which is held over there, and the conductor is coming as a participant choir here, and we want to offer them the opportunity to show this unusual program in our festival. And now a very special outside-the-box concert, and that was the picture which was on the slide before, will be the Rock and Rollator show. You all know what a rollator is probably, so I don't need to explain this. And
You already know.
I didn't want to be unpolite. But I can explain that it is a choir theater show with singers who are over 60 years and under 30 years. And they are acting at the same time, and with, of course, old aging as the main topic of this show. And there is a trailer of this too, and let's pray that this trailer will work, and we will see what it is about. 20 years they run. Okay. If I see this, maybe I will apply for one part in the male choir section when I'm over 16. And yes, we talked about unusual venues already, and which of course is part of outside the box thinking and singing. And the most unusual venue that we can get here, at least for all non-Estonians, will be the famous song celebration ground shell, used for the anniversary concert on August 3rd. So I think we all know that next year is 100 years anniversary year here in Estonia, and we want to make a present through Estonia with a concert for them. So, what makes a venue outside the box? The song celebration ground is outside the box because there are not many concert places like this on the world, and even if it was designed as a concert venue. And also we will use it in an unusual way by placing the festival participants as well as the audience into the shell, because we do not have so many singers, and also encourage everybody to sing together and build a new big choir. Other venues are buildings where usually concerts do not take place, where you can find people who are usually not going to concerts, so museums, as I mentioned, or shopping centers, swimming pools, public transport, etc. And the promenade concert, as mentioned before, will take place in the Culture Cauldron, is that right? Yeah? A former factory in now a very hip part of Tallinn. The choir night will happen all over the old town of Tallinn, and there will be a permanent stage also on the Tallinn town square, where singing choirs will always have a great audience that will include Tallinn citizens and tourists who may normally not choose to attend a choir concert in a church or a hall. But when we went to this old factory, I can tell you that the commission was inspired in 2 seconds, because that is such a special place, and you can do so much out of it that I mean, that is just a small part there. That it will be absolutely a unique event in this, and it has to be developed how it will look perfectly. But there are several halls acoustically independent, but not like concert halls as we know it. Well, 1 or 2 maybe, but also big. Like here, but 3 times the size of this hanging around there, so it will be really great. We also plan to have some short performances on the balcony of the hall where we have the expo, the choral expo for the publishers, and the Eurochoir, about we already heard a lot, will discover further unusual spots to sing at. We saw this with the Eurochoir. Yeah, here we have again a picture of the Eurochoir, like we heard it before, fighting with cushions. I think we heard about this already before, so we can skip this. What is inside the box? We've focused this presentation on the outside the box elements, but if you see the brochure, you find a lot which is still inside. So all of us who are maybe a bit more conservative in their hopes and approaches, they will find also happy times in the festival, I am sure. I think it is important to understand that we don't mean to say choral music cannot be inside the box. We just want to encourage you and all the participants coming to do something and leave the box and try out new ideas and concepts. But we all know that doing this only on purpose because you have to do it, that is not the best approach. And does not always lead to great results. I remember that I was in Brussels in the jury of Koor van het Jaar many years ago. And it was a huge show with TV, and then they told the choirs, please do something with staging, and that would be nice because the TV is there. And one choir performed the first and second movement by Bach, Jesu meine Freude. And suddenly a guy came out and started this trip, and then moving in crazy modern dance movements, and it was not so useful for the music, and also not for the performance, actually. So think outside the box, but of course have in mind that it should fit. You remember this, I think. Okay, but this is what our festival wants to inspire you. So come and join us to think and sing outside the box at the EUROPA CANTAT Festival in Tallinn next year. And do we have any questions now? I would like to open the floor now to you. We are very well in timing. So if there are questions, comments, proposals, or maybe even some ideas or some wishes you have that we should think about for the festival, so you're welcome. Reho.
Just was thinking in general of the idea of singing outside the box. Because, for instance, let's say 10 years ago, singing on the street was an extreme thing to do, and kind of a, you know, really singing out of the box, something really different. But
Do you want to marry Gabor? Sorry.
yes.
Two old friends.
But nowadays, a lot of choirs, and in many countries and many cities, there are choirs singing on the streets, making concerts and performances, pop-up concerts, etc. on the street. So is it still outside of the box, or is that singing in the box? Well, this is a rhetorical question. Just was thinking of this.
Well, we were discussing a bit in the break already. I think sometimes things can be outside the box for some people or some countries, and other things maybe no. So I guess many people that come here already are quite outside the box compared to many others who maybe don't even go outside the box, which in this case might be even their own country or their own city, which they don't want to leave. So your question is totally right, and maybe there is not the right answer on it, and the box is always different.
I just thinking.
And yes, yeah, absolutely. It's totally right.
Question.
Totally right question.
Yes, I have a question also concerning the Composers and Conductors program, which is not fixed, I understood. Because in the conference we had, and also this morning, we heard a lot about singing outside the box concerning the singers and the conductors, with choreography, with staging, with lighting, with everything. But is it time also that the composers should be aware of all this outside the box? And the applications, electronic applications, for instance, video, composing for choir and video, composing for choir and video and electronic means, and so on and so on. Should it be an idea to offer the young composers, as you invited them, or we have to invite them to come, to offer them that kind of platform also that they can discuss about composing outside the box? Because I was wondering, because Raoul told us an interesting thing about this young Estonian composer, Per Uusberg. He composed this 100 songs for the 100th celebration of Estonia. And you said There will be also a kind of lighting and choreography and staging. But my question is, does Per gives also indications for that? Or is it only the choreographer who will do it?
If it's in the score, you mean, for example?
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that is fixed in the score, like we had in earlier years in the 19th century and in the 18th century, where composers were indicating in the score,
Yes.
I like to do it, to see this or to see that.
I think we have an additional commenter. Jean-Claude?
Composers are interested to write down their idea about
Yes.
movement into the score. And we talked with the music commission, I don't know if we kept it or not, but doing some kind of workshop about movement notation inside the music score. Because we see so many empiric notation from musicians, and some of them have thought a bit more, and Leo is proposing something. I don't remember if it will take place or not, but you remember, Jan?
Not perfectly, but I know that we have some workshop. That is what Jaakko, for example, is doing, how to maybe use crazy texts also, because he uses, I mean, the emergency exit is over there, and writes a piece out of this, and which also belongs to this. And but I think we have some things about this also. I will take a note again and check, because I agree that it's important also to have composers outside the box.
I cannot answer you. I have listened only because it is just so new piece. It's not ready yet. I don't know. Did Bertusberg write in a score something of staging or not? But in summer you will.
We'll see.
We will, because there is also a composer's atelier where he is explaining his, showing his compositions, and then he will answer this question.
Ruben.
I feel it's important to add that we're now talking about specifically Bertusberg, who might know very clearly what he's going to do, but there are, of course, a lot of composers who are not even aware of the options that they actually have. So there might actually be kind of a laboratory. I think that's what the first question was actually about.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of a laboratory setting instead of listening more to what the composer.
We have two sessions for composers that are called Meet Your Instrument, which I think is very important. Already for the inside box things, just that the baritone should not sing the high G for 12 bars, you know, and I think it's possible to include many things there too. So, and that is basically, I think, what this was behind your thing, what possibilities are there. But thank you. Yes, please.
Can I just say that the singing teachers and the voice teachers would be very interested in supporting the work of singing outside the box. And one of the things we propose is that there is perhaps a tent, like a Red Cross tent, for where perhaps some singing teachers are. And then if singers who've been singing for 5 hours in the morning can come, because there is also the voice box. So singing outside the voice box and using the whole body to sing, there are several levels at which one can work with young singers and older singers.
Thank you very much for mentioning this, and I'm very sorry that I did not have this in the presentation, because of course we have discussed this too in the Music Commission, and we really love very much the Red Cross tent. We even thought about to have a Red Cross tent for conductors too, that can come with technical problems, you know, and so we will for sure have something like this, and this is, and I'm also sorry about this, because I also did not mention this, that in the plenary session of the Conductors and Composers program every morning, we will also have a common warm-up done by different professional voice trainers and teachers, and also we hope, or we planned to have their help when it is about some of the technical aspects in discovery ateliers and so on. So thank you very much for underlining this. It's a very important point.
I think also because there are some people that think because you sing jazz or pop that you can't sing classical, and that actually there is not so much difference between
I think
the
it's the same for conducting.
basic vocal technique.
Yes, yes.
And I think if we can express different ways of singing, I think it enhances what
Absolutely.
we all do.
Thank you very much. Further questions? If not, I have one more slide. Ah, Wanda. This is the lady you saw in the video. Sorry, I wish we saw.
A bit different look in the black dress. A question about the venue where the concerts will be, considering the final concerts of all the ateliers. In my experience in festivals, I always have to struggle a bit with risers and a flat floor. I can imagine the organization as well, because you have to have different concerts at the same time and different wishes. So how are you going to deal with this in Tallinn, making sure that everybody's able to, also considering singing outside the box, is also outside the box is away from the risers maybe, away from choir formations. So can you say something about that?
We have not yet discussed the composition of the concerts because we needed to wait until we have seen the registration numbers. And then I think we put together the ateliers and we see which concert will be together with, but I think it's a good hint to remember that we should, yeah, absolutely, it's very important. Then yeah.
I think it's also important that you provide kind of rider for that what you need, because we do not know what every outside of the box needs. We know how to make because really in somehow to say Tallinn is a small town, and there is I'm really ashamed of this, that in Tallinn has been not built a concert hall over the 100 years. So everything is outside of the box. But that's why we are begin this work with those writers when we know exactly what the concert places need.
Yes. Jean-Claude, yeah?
The model hall, what is the name?
Not there.
Nor that.
There the possibilities are very good, yes. Yes.
Yeah, this is a very professional concert hall.
Concert in that place.
Yes. Yeah, but this is there is no natural acoustics at all, so everything has to be amplified. This is the only difference.
So amplify the box. Yes, please.
I've been the conductor of a barbershop choir in Norway, and and I think there's a lot of competence by choreography and moving on the stage. And have you considered using some of the competence in Sweden? They are very good at barbershop and combining all these things: movement, dancing, choreography, expression on the stage. So they are very good at it.
They are fantastic. I think there was one video which came extremely popular also, where one of this, but not a smaller group, quite a big group, were doing incredibly.
It's show chorus. It's there, both for women and for men.
I think that
divided, but,
I think that is
they
this.
have a lot of competence in this area.
Yes. There are some topics about choreographing, not particularly about the barbershop choreographing, of course, yeah. But it is in the composers and conductors program. There will be things about staging and what to do. But of course, and I know that Norway, for example, or all Scandinavian countries are quite advanced already in this. So for you, we could have 3 different workshops about staging, because some choirs already know that staging at all is possible, so then you can go more into details. So like Amanda, for example, works with small movement with big groups, or for others, it is enough choreography to change the place in the church when they sing. So I cannot promise exactly how the content of this workshop will be, but we will speak about this for sure.
I just want to mention it.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah. If there are no...
Also, a short comment on, Jean was speaking about the marking choreography and scores. There are, I know some Finnish composers that, for instance, Kostiainen, who has drawn pictures of how the choir should move and what to do on stage when performing this piece. And Mr. Mangiar, who you mentioned, he writes sentences, he writes in the preface something about the staging or even choreography, but he also writes hints in the score, like the Hamburg, with a jolly Scandinavian smile. There's no such thing. Show it again, please.
As a Scandinavian, I have to just stress that there's no such thing as a jolly Scandinavian smile.
Except when I announce that I thank you and that there is a break soon. So I want to thank all of you for your interest, and thanks for your very valuable contribution. Thanks for PowerPoint, and see you later.